Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff to beating the game. For first time viewers, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It will show just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. I won't talk about fighting specific enemies unless they're very difficult, but I will show you where to go and what to do. Today we're playing Megaman X, which is sort of a platformer shooter game based on a very intricate upgrade system. And there's a lot of hidden items that you need to find to 100% it, so it's definitely worth following a walkthrough on this one. Let's talk a bit about controls first. So these are pretty much the same as the original Megaman X. You can move left and right. You can jump with the bottom button, which is B. You can shoot with the Y button, and you can charge a shot by holding down the Y button and then releasing it. You can also dash with the A button, and that's unlocked from the start of the game. Now, if you're dashing, I'd recommend jumping out of it, otherwise you're going to come to this awkward dead stop, but if you jump, you're going to keep your speed. You can also wall jump by sliding down a wall. You just hold at the wall, and then you jump out of that. Here's a health upgrade. That's what this looks like. They're usually yellow. And if you find that an enemy drops a blue item, that's going to give you an ammo recharge for whatever weapon you're using at the time. Speaking of weapons, we can select those from the pause menu here, although we don't have any unlocked at the moment. And you can use L and R to cycle through your weapons. If you're playing this on an emulator and you have multiple shoulder buttons, I'd recommend binding one of those to dash, as dashing on the A button can be a little bit awkward when you're trying to shoot. Alright, so let's make a start here on the walkthrough. So you're going to click into the game and you'll find yourself in the intro stage. Now the intro stage is very linear, so I'm not going to talk too much about how to get through it. Basically just follow the path and you'll get to the end there. You'll come across this boss here that you want to just keep attacking until it dies. And just keep hitting it on the head. Not too tricky, this one. Once you've beaten that boss, it's going to explode and then you'll get a cutscene. And you just wait till the end of the cutscene here and you'll get to pick your level. Now this is where the game gets really open-ended. So you're going to have different bosses and these bosses will have different weaknesses. You want to pick the levels in such an order that you're going to get the upgrades without too much backtracking and you're not going to be weak against the bosses. Now this is going to optimize for less backtracking but slightly more difficult bosses in this walkthrough. You want to pick that top left one, which is the wire sponge stage. Once we're in Wire Sponge, you're already going to see the first upgrade. Just wall jump up here and there's a little hidden health upgrade inside that wall. That'll increase your maximum health. Now keep going through until you get to the inside section here and we'll see our second upgrade. You want to do a dash jump there, so dash and jump, you'll get more distance. And then dash jump over here and we'll see a sub-tank. So sub-tanks you can use from the pause menu and basically they'll restore your health if you use them. But you have to charge them up by killing enemies. Alright, now if you keep going through the stage, you'll get to the boss, and we're going to beat that boss to finish this off. Now with all bosses, they do have weaknesses, so if we're about to fight Wire Sponge here, you would look for the weakness on that chart. Now given we don't have any gun upgrades yet, we won't have the strong weapon against Wire Sponge, so what you want to do is just go into the fight and keep using charge shots against it. So hold down your fire button and then shoot. So when you beat Wire Sponge, a few things are going to happen. You're going to get Wire Sponge's weapon, which is the strike chain. You're going to get a password to return to this point, and then we're going to select a level. You're going to select that level kind of down the bottom, just a little bit right at the middle. This is Wheel Gator stage. So after playing the level normally for a bit, you'll get to this section. This bit's really tricky. You want to do a dash jump off the wall and use Wire Sponge's weapon to grab that bit of wall, and then do a wall jump off there. If you can't get that, then come back here later once you have some more upgrades to reach better heights. But basically what this upgrade is going to do is it'll let you charge your shot a bit more with your gun. Later on in the level you will come to this section just after riding the armor. Let this guy shoot you and then we'll jump off the spikes. Now if he doesn't shoot you then those spikes will kill you instantly, but if you're taking damage from the bullet you'll be able to wall jump off them and get that health upgrade there. Keep progressing through the stage and you'll get to this section, take a left and you'll make it into the boss arena. So this is Wheel Gator, and luckily we do actually have the weapon that's super effective, which is Wire Sponge's weapon. So we're going to change to that and then fight Wheel Gator using that weapon. You can use L or R to change, or you can do it from the pause menu, but you want that one that looks like a chain. you'll use that and it'll do a lot of damage to him, and then just keep hitting him and you'll win the fight. Alright, so once you beat Will Gator, you're going to get a bunch of cutscenes, and basically what they're saying is 3 of these boss things are going to spawn on the map. Now these will spawn in different spots depending, so mine have spawned here, here, and here, and I'm going to be going into the ostrich stage, which is on the bottom left there. Now, that's going to have one of these boss spawns in it. So if you want to follow along with the route that I'm doing, you can keep going in and exiting levels and change these boss spawns until you get a boss to spawn in this level here. So if that boss is in the level for you, you're going to break this with Will Gator's weapon, and the boss should just be sitting in this arena here. And you can just keep hitting it with charge shots, and you'll win. And this will get you one of the 0 parts. This is a part of 100%ing the game. Alright, a little bit further on in the level, you're going to get to ride this bike thing. You want to shoot these platforms so they come down and then make a jump off them. And then you're going to get to the end of this section. You want to jump up here, and you'll get to these spikes. You want to do a very careful turnaround and just grab that health upgrade without hitting the spikes there. That one's pretty tricky to get. Then you just want to jump up here. You'll use that chainsaw weapon, and then you'll get this upgrade. So this lets you do a mid-air dash, which is really, really useful. Alright, once you got that mid-air dash, you can come down here to the boss room. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the weapon that's strong against this boss based on our damage chart. So what we're going to have to do is just use a bunch of charge buster shots to do the damage. Alright, when we beat Overdrive Ostrich, we'll get a password and its weapon. Now, you'll see here the bosses will change the positions they're in. And I don't like this position because that boss is on the C stage, which I want to go to. So I'm going to go into Overdrive Ostrich and then exit out. And they'll change again, and now it's not on C stage. So we're going to go to C stage, which is that one on the bottom, just slightly left of the middle there. Bubble Crab stage. Our first power up is pretty soon into the start of the level, so I'll show you from the start. You're going to dash right past this fish, and then do a couple wall jumps off here with a dash jump. And we've got a health upgrade just sitting up on the top here. Falling down from that health upgrade, we're going to keep going right until we get to this section here. And you can do little jumps on the water to get that energy tank. I'll show that sequence again. You wall jump, and then you tap the jump button to jump in the water there. If you keep following through the level, we get to the boss, and we can see that the Gator weapon is effective against him, which is this chainsaw looking one. So we're going to swap to that weapon and deal some pretty big damage. After beating this boss, we're going to get the upgrade and our password. And we're back to the map screen. So watch your boss patterns here. I'm going to head into this stage up here, which is the volcanic zone stage. Just make sure none of the bosses are on that. So the red dot that I've got on the volcano doesn't have a boss on it. That's what I want. Now make sure you've gone into Flame Stag stage. The 2 upgrades you want to get in this level are right near the start. So this first one here, this beetle is going to break the wall. Just ride the beetle all the way up and you'll get a sub tank. Then head to the right in here, and you want to climb this section really quickly. And the hard upgrade is just there, shoot through that door to get it. And that's everything until the boss of this stage. So play through till you get to the boss, and you'll notice that we do have the super effective attack against it. It's this bubble looking weapon thing. So we'll head in there, swap to that, and deal heaps of damage. Alright, so we'll get our upgrade and our password. And this next level, I'm going to choose to fight one of those 3 bosses. So it's that crystal looking level. It's on the bottom right of your selection, and you can see there's a boss on there as well as me with a red dot. So this is Crystal Snail stage. The first upgrade is really close to the start of the level. Just go right and grab this armor, bring it down here. Then you want to do a dash jump off there and hold the button to float. We'll jump off that little bit and you've got the hard upgrade for more health. Then you just ride this thing back to get out of this section. This next section is a bit complicated, but it will get us to this mini boss that we're going to fight. So you want to take this armor down here, but don't lose it. Lure the green block down, bring the armor across, and then jump off this ledge over here. From here you want to break these blocks with the armor, and then climb up. And that'll bring us to that mini boss, which we saw was going to be in this level on the map. Once we've beaten this boss, we're going to get our next 0 part and then return to the level as normal. Our next upgrade is after this little crystal mini boss thing. You want to drop down this bit and go to the left once you drop down. And that gets us to another capsule here. So this one you probably won't need too much if you're following this walkthrough, but it's a radar scope which lets you see other things. Works something like that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is head straight to the boss. Now, according to this damage chart, unfortunately we don't have the strength against this boss, so we're just going to have to go in and do a bunch of charged Mega Buster shots. Once we beat this level, we're going to look at those boss spawns again. There's one left. And it is on MOTH stage. So that one there just left at the top. The red dot matches the boss. Make sure if you're following along with this, you got the boss there. If not, just go back into the level and come back out to reset the boss positions. Our first upgrade is really close to the start of this level. You want to freeze this enemy with one of the weapons that you got. It looks like that crystal. Jump off the top of it, we'll jump up here, and you should get a hard upgrade. Next upgrade is basically straight after that hard upgrade. You want to use this razor thing to cut through the floor here. And we have another capsule. So we can basically take more damage. This increases our defense, which is really good. So after you fight this mini boss, we're going to come to our extra boss arena thing. For this one of 3 bosses that we're fighting in this level. So basically just wall jump off that little bit there and you'll get to this boss arena. Alright, once we've beaten this boss, we're going to get our last 0 part. And we're going to head back out down here. Keep going through and we're going to get to the main boss of this level. And the fire attack absolutely destroys this boss. It's really good. So have a look, we'll swap to the fire, do some damage. Then the roof's going to break open, but you basically just follow it up and keep using fire. Alright, so we're going to get a little cutscene here. And then we're going to head into the only level we haven't been in yet, which is that top right one. MAGNA Centipede. First upgrade's near the start of the level. Now you'll notice if you hit these little security light things, platforms are going to drop. Don't let the very last one drop, which is this one here, because what we're going to do is we'll jump off it and get to this hard upgrade here. Next upgrade is shortly after. We're going to go through these box puzzles and wait for this one, jump on top of it, and then get a cheeky wall jump up here to get another sub-tank. In this room with the falling bricks, we're going to go up rather than down here, and we're going to fight this mini boss. After the mini boss is completed, we're basically at the final boss for the level. We do have the strength against it, we're going to use that sun-looking gun. And just keep dealing damage, you'll win this fight. Alright, so we'll get our cutscene, get our password, and we've unlocked the very last level. We're going to head straight in. At the end of the first level in this last stage, we're going to come up against this boss. I'd suggest just use bubble against it and charge up that bubble shot. Alright, we'll get our password and then head straight back into the second level of this final stage. Okay, so you come to the end of this second stage and you're going to be fighting this boss here. This one's kind of tricky. So use this weapon first. You'll break the 4 cannons at the front. Then we're going to fight the actual boss itself using this boomerang weapon, the slicer. So when you use the charged up shot, it will come in from the top, so you got to try and angle it so that it hits this dude. Alright, once you've beaten the boss, you'll get a password screen, and we're actually going to head back to Bubble Crab stage here. Now we're not coming back to grab an item that we missed. What we're doing instead is we're going to fill up all of our sub-tanks. So just like Megaman X, the X1, you get this upgrade called the Shouryuken. And you need all 100% completion, but you also need full health and full sub-tanks. So basically what we're going to do is wait till this fish drops through the floor here. And we're going to use a silk shot and charge it up. And for whatever reason, that'll just pull in a bunch of health there. And that'll fill up our sub-tanks super quickly. So we're going to do that a few times. And then once you've done it a few times, check your pause menu. Your sub-tank should all be full. We're going to exit out, get a password, and then we're heading back to this stage. Try not to take any damage in here, otherwise you might not be able to get the Shouryuken. Now, if you thought getting the Hadouken in X1 was hard, getting the Shouryuken is pretty ridiculous. You got to go through this stage here, and then we'll go up to this section with the platform. When you jump on this platform, it'll change direction, so just pull it through. Then when you get to the end, make sure it's high enough here, because you want to jump up onto this ladder. Now we're going to swap to the flame weapon, because that'll get us some extra distance with our jumps. And make sure you're on full health and full sub-tanks when you do this, and you've 100% of the game. So we'll charge up the flame weapon, and you get like another air dash with it basically. So that helps you get through this section. Not going to lie, this is pretty tricky. So a flame dash and then a normal air dash. Hug the left wall here. And then you're going to go in and get the Shouryuken. So if this capsule doesn't appear, it probably means you've missed an item or something like that. Or your sub-tanks aren't full or your health isn't full. But this is the Shouryuken. You use it by pressing forward, down, forward, and then the shoot button. So kind of like a Hadouken input, just with the forward at the start. And that's a really powerful move. Alright, now we're up to the boss, and your Shouryuken is basically going to one-hit this. So just literally use it at the start of the fight, forward, down, forward, shoot, and you're going to get it. I think you need to be on full health to use it though, so if you're not, then you'll have to fight this boss normally, using the weakness from the weakness table there. Alright, so after beating this boss, we're going to get our password and go to the next stage. Now this stage here is just a boss rush stage again, so I won't talk about it too much in detail. You'll go through here, you get into the boss, and you can usually Shouryuken the bosses just like this, and that'll pretty much one-hit all the bosses. Although if you're not going to do that, like if you've lost some health or something, then you want to use the weakness table there to use whatever weapon is effective. Once you've beaten all the bosses, the base is going to explode, and then you'll get zipped off. You get a password, and we can head into the final level. Alright, so this level looks like one of the levels that we've done before. Just zip through to the very end. Then you're going to get a lovely cutscene, and you'll fall through the floor eventually to fight the final boss. Alright, now with this final boss, you can just Shouryuken both if you have the full health. If not, you'll need to then follow the damage chart to use whatever weapon will actually work. As a trend with these games, usually only one weapon will actually work on the final boss. So I'm just going to Shouryuken both of these. And then he'll spawn into his second phase. A couple of Shurikens, and we're done. Alright, so once you've beaten the boss, that's the game completed. You'll know if you 100%ed it if you're able to get the Shouryuken, and if you get all the items, it makes fighting those bosses a heck of a lot easier. So I hope you enjoyed this content and found it useful. I should have more coming out like it's soon, and if you enjoyed this content, a subscription to the channel is always appreciated. Thanks for watching.